really is. And so I learned in that program. And when I came out of the program, I guess about 6 months later, even if it was that, God gave me a program, and the program was called Streams in the Desert. I don't know if you remember when I used to bring the women in my home, sometimes 10 women at a time. Listen, all I did was what was done for me. And I didn't reinvent the wheel. I didn't do any of that, but I felt the call.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with one person from a church called Celestial Tabernacle that my pastor asked me to help, but my pastor didn't really know that I was still sick too. I
Oh.
was only 6 months out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the mistake a lot of parents make when they have adult children who are on drugs. And as soon as they start looking a little bit good, they think their child is well, and the child is not. You have to go through so much healing because there's a reason why you started doing those drugs, you know. And so in the program, in Teen Challenge program, you go through so much healing and deliverance. God knows deliverance, and being set free. And you have to get rid of all of these little demon things to realize how great God made you. He said, you are beautifully and wonderfully made. And the first time, and then I'm gonna stop and let you ask a question because I can go on and on and on. The first time I heard God speak to me was from the book of Isaiah, chapter 43. And it was because I didn't feel loved from anybody, not just from my ex-husband, but from my mom, from my aunties, my grand. And these people love you, but so why are you in that frame of mind where nobody loves me? It's like, no, these people love you. They raised you, they fed you, they clothed you, they kept a roof over your head. And I was on the basement floor at Teen Challenge. This is when I got saved. And I was just crying my eyes out. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Even the counselors at Teen Challenge, they was like, "You need to get saved," And I had a counselor yell out to me, "That's why nobody can love you." Whatever I did, that's what she yelled out at me. And I was like, "Oh my God!" She didn't know that broke me into little teeny pieces. So I was on the basement floor and I was crying out. Nobody loved me. And all of a sudden I had my Bible with me. And God told me to turn to Isaiah chapter 43. And I heard God speak to me for the first time. Me. Not from a pastor's mouth or somebody else's mouth, but I heard God speak directly to me and said, "I have loved you." And I'm like, what? I'm looking around. I'm about to cry. I'm trying not to cry, but this is my testimony. Um, when I see myself laying on that, um, those old basements, they all musty and everything, but I was laying on the floor. And he just said, "I have loved you." He said, "I created you. I formed you." He said, "You are mine. I called you by name." And all these other things, taking me through the fire. And then he goes, "I'm doing a new thing. Don't you perceive it?" And from that point going forward, you can't tell me nothing about God. Um, and I'm going to chill out just a little bit.
You know, as you were sharing that of God saying, "I've always loved you," it reminded me of the old song, "He was there all the time. He was there all the time. Waiting patiently in line. He was there all the time."
All the
And
time.
we don't realize that he is there all the time.
He's there all the time.
Because as you're sure, you didn't have to do some things. So others had to do those things, but there's still a protective factor that God gives us, right?
Yes.
But even some of them, even though they did have to go, That's their
Yes.
testimony to now be able to share of how I got out of it too. So we
Yes.
all have a different testimony. We all have a different path that we go through.
Yes.
But the amazing part is that he is there all the time. Because like you said,
Absolutely.
it may seem bad to us. But God's like, I got you. It's all in my plan. Because all things work together.
Yes.
But it's a process getting there. But another powerful part you put of being a church girl, and this is really real, of going to church and not knowing nothing that man or woman of God is talking about.
Yes.
Where it's not hitting home to really have that relationship. But like Belinda said, it's about having that personal relationship. And you had to almost feel like you hit a rock of a bottom.
Yes.
You know, to then be like, oh, what? And people don't always know what to say, because with the lady saying, that's why nobody don't love you. We don't always know the right words to say, and we got to be a little bit more kind.
Yes.
We got to be a little
Please.
more kind. We need that kindness too. We need that grace too.
Yes.
It's so undeserving the grace and mercy that we get. But God,
Yes.